Nigeria serves as a key business hub which thrives in and attracts foreign trade to the African continent. It falls in the category of developing nations still lagging behind in its ICT development on a global scale. According to the International Telecommunications Union, Nigeria ranks 143 on the 2007 Global Ranking for ICT Development Index. As a result, more forums and conferences are rising to advocate the importance of ICT development to the Nigerian economy, its youth and entrepreneurship. As Nigeria expands its diversification plan from oil and gas to focus on other key sectors, ICT can get better development opportunities. According to the World Bank, every 10% increase in broadband penetration will lead to 2% to 3% increase in employment rate. Beautiful figures. As such, the e-commerce sector alone can employ more than 40 million Nigerians and contribute billions of dollars to the Nigerian economy. Nigeria boasts of an extremely entrepreneurial, tech-savvy and young population. The continuous support of Nigeria's bright entrepreneurs must continue, especially as Lagos State represents the most valuable ecosystem. Now, what is required, therefore, is the Nigerian government to provide a more enabling environment through liberalization of key ICT subsectors, such as broadband, managed services, software, IoT, and even blockchain to create more competition and attract FDIs. The special advisor to the Lagos State Governor on Innovation and Technology, Olatubosun Alake, recently highlighted some of the achievements of Lagos State government in the area of infotech in the last 1 year. Take a listen.
The Lagos Solutions Hub is a platform to be able to interface with the private solutions ecosystem. And what are the functions of this solution hub? Is to serve as an interface between the solution ecosystem and Lagos State. Number two, to accept innovative proposals and applications to help drive problem solving in the state, reduce application bottlenecks and enhance communication between state and private sector problem solvers, and communicate effectively government requirements for projects. We realize that a lot of people have different solutions to different problems in the state. And how best could we reach out, or how best could we form an interlink between government and solution providers? The Solutions Hub was the answer. And so it was a platform where solution providers, developers need not know anybody to be able to bring their solutions to present to solve problems across the civic environment. And as such, the Solutions Hub has taken quite a number of innovative applications, and many of them are being evaluated and reviewed to be able to be applied to solve problems across the state. That's the Lagos State Solutions Hub. Currently, there have been between 60 and 70 applications that have come onto the Solutions Hub. And a lot of them, I believe, will go a long way in solving some of our problems in the state.
The special advisor to the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, on Innovation and Technology, Olatubosun Alake, is live in the studio. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start with, what are the goals of the Babajide Sanwo-Olu-led administration with focus on science and technology?
Thanks again for having me. I think one of the key areas of the themes agenda that was initiated by this present administration under the leadership of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu is a very strong education and technology pillar, right? And in essence, it's really to drive the problem solving, the local problem solving in the state through the application of science research, innovation tools and techniques, to raise the level of technology engagement and usage in the subsector, and really to drive local problem solving through the adoption of local solutions. I think that is very key. And as such, we are beginning to execute a number of things to enable that environment, to leverage on the collective intelligence of people in Lagos State and across the country to drive problem solving. So that's the essence of the key pillars of the themes agenda, we really want to solve local problems using local solutions. And so many things are going to be done through that. It's going to increase the knowledge level in the state. It's going to increase the education level as well. When we decide to become problem solvers through the use of science methods and innovative tools.
It sounds very good. Now, Lagos, the population, alarming. People talk about it, 20 million, 21 million. You have started with this responsibility to drive science and technology in the state. How do you intend to go about this?
So when I came in to my office, the Office of Innovation and Technology, it's virtually a new office.
Yes, it is.
Was formed after we came in August of last year. One of the first things we did was not to assume that we knew anything. So one of the first programs, one of the first events that we did was the Art of Technology event, where we gathered together problem solvers, innovators, developers across the civic subsector in Lagos. And we met with them and we asked them, what are your challenges? What are the things that are basically stifling innovation? What are the things that are stifling technology adoption in the state? And as such, we came up with 4 major innovation pillars. This went into our master plan, which we launched at the Art of Technology. So these 4 major pillars are access, infrastructure, talent, and funding. Now, if we can solve these 4 things, then I think the level of technology adoption, the level of problem solving through science and technology is significantly or will be significantly raised in the state. And so we have begun a program of activities to really execute things along these 4 pillars. For instance, the access pillar, where we give access to data, access to equipment. There are a number of programs that we are going through. The infrastructure pillar, there's a massive infrastructure initiative that is going on, 3,000 kilometers of fiber optic cable across the state. Wow. This would give access to the internet for education purposes, for health purposes, and also for innovative purposes, for people to be able to solve problems. So we know that is going to raise the standard of technology adoption in the state. Under the talent pillar, there is a current program we are trying to implement, which is the open source program, to raise the level of technology development and software programming in the state. And of course, the funding pillar. A lot of technology startups need funding. And of course, the governor has made good on that promise by the seed fund he made available last year to be implemented by the Science Research and Innovation Council. So there are a number of activities across the different pillars of execution, which we launched last year.
Well, now, coronavirus is something that we must talk about. It's a global issue, and it's on the news, public health crisis. And it's affecting all aspects of the entire business world. Now, do you see any opportunities for your sector now and even post-COVID-19?
I think that's a very good question. As we can see, COVID-19 has really changed the modus operandi of a lot of economies across the globe. I think there's a significant opportunity for us in Lagos and in Nigeria as a whole to really look at the way business is conducted, to look at the way activities in industry are conducted, and really apply technology to a lot of these things. It helps with sustainability. For instance, when during the lockdown period, where nobody could really go anywhere, we still had to conduct the business of state. So we employed the use of teleconferencing facilities, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and a lot of technology solutions that enabled business continuity. These are the ways we need to think. We need to use this opportunity to also drive local production. We've seen that when all countries are locked down, trade becomes difficult, right? So it's an opportunity for Nigeria to be self-sustaining in a lot of areas. Our Lagos State Science Research and Innovation Council recently completed call-outs for innovative solutions in the area of manufacturing, in the area of food security, because that is a major issue for Lagos and of course the country. How do we remain sustainable in the face of global pandemics and issues? And I think technology really is a key element of the sustainability answer, and of course raising the standard of living. And so we are doing a lot of activities to make sure that Lagos State is, at least to a certain extent, self-sustaining through the use of technological tools and techniques, and of course to make sure that whatever happens, we continue the business of state and the economy keeps trugging along. So these are the enabling gears that we are putting into place to make sure that we are prepared for whatever eventualities.
Indeed. Today I was listening to CNN and I saw how much Zoom has made, even contributing now to the stock market over there, where others are crying. The technology aspect is actually doing well. Yeah. Now, you go back to the Art of Technology event. A lot went up with that event. I saw Andrew Nevin and all of that there. What were the takeouts and how far with this support from the governor has it been?
Right. So the Art of Technology event was one that was an engagement point, really, between the government and the private sector.
True.
We needed to establish that trust between both parties, that Lagos State is really here to be serious and to really do business, to get problem solving at a focal point in the state. And so there's been a lot of support from the private sector after that event. A key number of takeaways, where we launched our innovation master plan, of which we are executing the 4 pillars I mentioned earlier. And of course, the 250 million naira seed fund for science research and innovation to be administered by the Lagos State Science Research and Innovation Council. So that those were some of the takeaways from that event. And we've been getting a lot of support from private sector partners and players. Recently, during the COVID-19 lockdown, we actually funded about 6 startups in conjunction with Ventures Platform. We are funding another 6 with CC Hub. These are startups that are innovating around the area of COVID, really trying to alleviate the issues that emanate from that. And some of them are in discussions with the Ministry of Health as well, to really see how they can help the ministry in becoming more robust to be able to tackle some of these challenges. So there's been quite a huge fallout from the event, and we are getting support from the private sector. I mean, they know we are bona fide partners in the fight against the disease, and of course in the goal of raising living standards.
Indeed, everyone is commending the governor, and of course you, his team members, what you've been doing with regards to fighting COVID-19 and at least making the state conducive for everyone to move around. But I always ask this question: how soon are we going to get Lagos to becoming, I think it's more away from digitalized now, becoming a smart city? Right. When are we getting to that point?
Right. So I would say it's a marathon, not a sprint, right?
Indeed.
So there are a number of activities. When you look at the concept of a smart city, it's an efficient city. It's a more manageable city. It's a sustainable city. And to be able to achieve all of these matrices, you need innovative technology to be able to help you deliver on some of these milestones. True. And one of the key elements of the base layer of the smart city is a robust communication infrastructure. Now, I know the governor announced the implementation of the 3,000 kilometer fiber optic ring around Lagos State. This is a marquee project for us. This is one of the first critical pieces of the smart city. On top of that robust communication infrastructure comes a smart city layer, an interoperable layer that different applications can talk to each other, right? And of course, on top of that are the different applications from transport, fire safety, from healthcare, and different applications that address the civic gambit. So we are starting with the first and key element of the smart city, which is the robust communication infrastructure. Wow. Apart from that, Lagos State is also implementing the Dig One strategy. What we want to do is, we can't fiber everywhere, so we need to reduce the cost of execution for private sector players, and that's why we are also implementing the Govt fiber cabling. Okay. The duct is what houses the fiber optic cable when it goes underground. What this is going to do is reduce the cost of expansion and implementation for other players out there, so that there can be a cascading effect of infrastructure deployment across the city. So it's really a marathon that we've started, and slowly but surely we are going to get to a really deep inflection point where you start to see some of the benefits of these activities.
Before I let you go, time is already fast spent. Any form of challenges, or what do you expect from Lagosians to cooperate with you as you move on in this office to make this job, easier for you?
Right. I look at that. That's a good question, but I'll flip that question around, and people would ask me, what should I do to make it easier for Lagosians? And I've mentioned a few of them, but if there's one thing I would say, it's about solving problems. True. Right? And empathy. When you empathize, your mind is more tuned to seeing a solution to a particular problem. There's one of our shining lights in Nigeria, Dr. Ola, or Flying Doctors. Yeah. When she saw a relative that was quite sick, it just didn't end there. Yeah. She came up with a solution. Yeah, and that is what I want to express to Lagosians out there: empathy, and really developing. We all know the problems. That's not new. What is new are the solutions, and that's where we need to really put our focus on. And I tell a lot of people, don't worry about the funding. A lot of good solutions, the funding will eventually find you. And the Lagos State Science Research and Innovation Council is available to really, from the 250 million naira seed fund that the governor gave, is really to funnel into innovative solutions across the state. And as I mentioned, we already funded 6. We are funding another 6. We are doing a couple of projects with the University of Lagos, and there's much more to be had in this regard. So I want to just send a message that for everybody to, the sky is not the limit anymore.
Indeed, a lot has already been achieved. We can't really go on with achievements again. A lot has been achieved already, we can see. We just wish you all the best. I've been speaking to the special advisor to the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, that's on innovation and technology, Mr. Olatubosun Alake. Thank you very much for your time joining us on Business Nigeria today.
Thanks for having me.
We hope to have you again as developments move on in regards to science and technology.
Thank you. Thank you.